Okay, War 5 of the season, and this one's up against AGT-D. I think the D is for diamond. So yeah, I think I take 6 fights this war. I was just trying to remember for a second there. And yeah, I unfortunately do give up my first death of the season this war. Last season, I think I had 2 deaths in the same war. One was a dex issue, and then one was just me playing bad. So I was hoping to try and go deathless this season. Doesn't happen, unfortunately, and we'll see the death and talk through it later. But yeah, this first fight is a repeat of a fight I took for the first time earlier in the season, and as you can see, it's already a lot cleaner than that one was. And yeah, I mean, I explained it last time, Claire is just really good for this particular matchup. She can have both immunities. You don't need to cycle between them, you can just stay safe and stick to one, but then you risk maybe getting cornered. So I think the strategy of starting in the poison phase and then going into incinerate and just kind of lining it up that way is probably the most efficient, and will, you know, obviously most of her damage isn't in that incinerate phase, so that is the better way to go. But yeah, a nice clean first fight of the war. Then next up I've got Killmonger. So this is a new matchup for me. I've not faced him on this path before. So I was assigned to take it with CGR, and to be fair, I was fairly confident. I know that I'd have the permanent armor break on him, and CGR is a counter to hazard shift. He's got the incinerate immunity. I obviously need to play around the poison phase, but I was pretty confident. I think it was a clean kill, but you know, clean for me can sometimes mean still taking a hit in the face somewhere in between, but you know, I'm pretty sure it's a comfy solo in the end. But yeah, solid counter for this fight. Okay, there we go. It wasn't clean by any means, but no, it's still a comfortable solo in the end. And yeah, Cosmic Ghost Rider, great counter. So yeah, I think I do close this one out clean, like I said, which is nice. Should also probably mention that at the time of recording this, we have just finished War 8 of the season. So again, when I watched back some of these and I'm recording the voiceovers, I am just watching them back for the first time in a few wars, so they're a little bit sketchy in my head. I can't really remember them as clear, but unfortunately this is the fight where I give up my first death of the season and only death of the war. So I remember it quite clearly. So I was assigned this with Cosmic Ghost Rider. I do think he is a good counter. Of course, the obvious and better counter would be Ghost. We didn't have a Ghost available to send this way this war, so my officer DLL wanted to try CGR here. And you know, after talking it through, I figured it is pretty safe. Just as you can see, checking, I've got the recording on as well. So yeah, there was just a little bit of nerves of kind of not knowing exactly how this fight would go down, but I had a rough picture in my head of what I was going to do, and again, you know, just doing most of my damage in the incinerate phases, surviving the poison phases, which CGR is not immune to, by just kind of dancing around. I think my main issue wasn't so much that aspect of the fight, it's more I wondered what happens if he becomes immortal and then the poison phase kicks in at the same sort of time, and I potentially get backed up and, you know, get beaten to death that way. So here's one mistake, and it's something that unfortunately I don't learn from straight away until after the fight. He's probably running max limber or higher limber, and clearly I didn't have time to parry charge heavy into the special 2. I should really have just done parry heavy, parry special 2. So yeah, that was wasted into his block, and then I think I'd do it again at another point. That time it worked, but it wasn't, I wouldn't say the timing was consistent enough to go for it, and I shouldn't have been. So that just naturally drags out the fight a little bit longer, wastes opportunities to get damage in. That's the main source of damage from CGR for this fight. So yeah, here showing exactly why I'm not a Quake user. I'm not the best evading everything on the wall, and there we go, we've done another special 2 into his block. As you can imagine, I'm trying to keep calm at this point. I've just got to remember, you know, we've still got over 3 minutes to go. Our alliance is never usually the fastest, so we're not going to be the ones winning on tie breaks. So it's just, you know, I've got still a good deal of health left, and he's over halfway down, and we're not even halfway through on the timer, so keep calm, keep going and close it out. Unfortunately, they're poorly timed special 2. I forgot that obviously the last beams of it, if they contact with him, I'm still going to get the poisons on me, even though I started the special in the incinerate phase. Again, easy in hindsight now to talk about it, but I just didn't quite, you know, in my head it just wasn't quite registering. And you'll see at this point, you're thinking, oh, he'll close the fight out surely. How does he give away the death? Well, this is how. Get backed up a bit, and at some point I'm going to throw a very poorly timed special 2. It's not going to come in this cycle. Just about survive. There we go, incinerate phase, close him down. And then stupidly, I think I just got excited with 3%, 4% of his health and was like, finish him. But no, he's going to go immortal, as we see here, and he's just switched into poison phase, my greatest fear before the fight. And those are just ticking down really fast, and that's it. First death of the season, and disappointed in the way I gave it, considering for what was a really sketchy fight throughout, I managed it pretty well until then. Towards the end, just threw it away, all the hard work, but it happens. Just revive, heal back up, and go again, finish the fight. And yeah, move on to the next one, clear your head and keep going. I think I did go to sleep after this one, potentially, and come back in the morning to continue the rest of my fights, so that always helps to get that kind of just break from it. But yeah, obviously he's got 1%, he can't trigger immortality, so it's just going to be a quick slap and he's dead. 2 slaps, my bad. Okay, so this is my 4th fight of the war. I have, as you can see in the time difference between how long was left in the war in the last fight and this one, I went to sleep, came back, and was ready to get on with this one. Now this is one I was actually quite excited for. A bit worried, of course, for this being the first time I was doing this matchup, but excited, and I think my officers as well were quite excited to see how this one went. So it's Shang Chi against Void. You've got the cleanse to help protect you against Void's debuffs, and also there is crumbling armor, so of course if you're not making any contact with him for a while, that's another debuff he has access to getting on you. So you really do want to try and keep cleanse up, but this is footloose, and the main thing is to keep the slow up. So I do try to manage keeping the 2 of those up more. Speaking with other more experienced Shang Chi users, because this was one of my first probably few fights with him in a war. First in an actual war season for sure, since taking him up and getting him. I spoke to some more experienced Shang Chi players, and yeah, they, as you see there, did use the stun Chi charge, or whatever it's called, I've forgotten now. But yeah, they did say to just utilize that a bit more, because then it gives you more openings to put those heavies in to reset your charges and get you all your utility back. Unfortunately there you see one of the potential tricky parts of this fight, where you maybe don't have the slow up and he gets footloose, unstoppable, and it gets a bit more difficult. And now he's got some debuffs on me, and he's had them on for a little while. So I've lost a lot of health from what was a really clean fight at the start. But we got it back under control. Throw the special 3, somehow doesn't kill him. But yeah, we just one hit, we finished that last bit. And we got the solo at the end of the day. Unfortunately, wasted some potions because I do need to use Shang Chi again, so that kind of messy finish cost some potions, but hey, solo's a solo, as we say. So, fight number 5 is a Professor X. So yeah, this one, honestly, I don't think there was anything too tricky about it. You've just got to watch the debuffs he can place on you, which come from the node. Every time he throws a special, you get a heal block and an armor break on you. So because those don't stack, I don't think he can actually get 3 on you and get the full unblockable. But you, of course, with untouchables in particular, want to be careful of his miss. CGR has access to vigilance, which bypasses miss, and that makes him even better for this. But as you can see, that one special 2 already has just obliterated. Now, I'm just, for whatever reason, not quite getting confident to get parries in. So just, playing around a little bit, take a few hits to the face, but we confidently see this one out. Could have been a bit of a quicker kill, but it's done. It's a solo. And yeah, never really in doubt. Pretty easy fight. Now the next one. Again, excited for, because this, I think, was, like I said, the first time bringing Shang Chi to a actual season war. So this was, good practice. Just, getting to grips with him in these sorts of scenarios. It's a bit more high pressure. And yeah, just testing him out. And obviously the Void fight started really well. Became a bit more sketchy, but this fight, I think, from what I remember, is just so clean. The cleanse charges means that you can parry and knock down Mr. Negative freely, and when he places a disorient on you, it will delirious on you, sorry. When he places delirious on you, you can cleanse it. So yeah, as a result of that, you can just play it normal. You can cleanse any debuff and therefore get the advantage of going unblockable thanks to the node as well. And yeah, he just deals with this one really quickly. Nothing much more to say about it. So 5 solos, unfortunately 1 death, but overall pretty solid war. As a battle group, as you can see, we did really well, only the 2 deaths. And most importantly, we pick up the win. So War 5, we've got the win there. We're now 3-2 for the season. And again, like I say, heading in the right direction. And this was the second of that set of 3 wars that I say where we really did go strong, and you'll see again in the next war. Take care.